Welcome to Let's Clear the Air, a podcast sponsored by the Allergy, Asthma, and Sinus Center, dedicated to educating listeners about allergies, asthma, and immunology.
Well, welcome back to Let's Clear the Air, all things allergy, asthma, and immunology. I'm your host, Liz Edwards. Today we are joined by Dr. John Overholt, and we are talking about pet allergies and all things pets. You yourself are a dog owner, right?
Yes, dog owner, dog lover. We've got two big Spinoni Italiano, big wire-haired pointer, 100-pounder, and then I have a little French bulldog who runs the show.
I have to know their names.
Big dog is Moose. Little dog is Midge.
I love that name. That's awesome. Yeah. And Midge is the boss.
Midge runs the show. She is a little terrorist.
Okay, so here's my first question. Where does everybody sleep at night?
Moose takes a lot of room, so he sleeps on his own on his bed, and then Midge is usually right in between the crevices of us in bed, just snuggling up.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Unless she snores too loud, unless she snores too much,
In which case
she sometimes gets kicked out just because she's a French bulldog and they snore.
They do snore. We have a number of questions that our listeners sent in that I wanted to go over with you, but one of the ones is, people saying, well, but I don't let the dog sleep in my bed, so that's probably keeping the allergens out of my house, and that's not really true, is it?
No, there's a lot of different dog or cat allergens, and because some of them are from the skin and some of them are from other places, they tend to get airborne and kind of move around the house. And so keeping them out of the bed will lessen the amount of dog dander that's in the bed, but it's still going to be in the room. So partially helpful, but not going to completely get rid of the allergen in your bedroom.
Is there such a thing as a hypoallergenic breed?
Well, let's talk about what hypoallergenic means.
Yes,
hypoallergenic just means low. Hypo is the prefix for low allergy. So you could always say that a dog is hypoallergenic if it's less allergenic than another breed, but that doesn't mean non-allergenic. And unfortunately, there are no non-allergenic dog breeds. A lot of these non-shedding breeds are marketed as hypoallergenic, but it's really not the hair of the dog that's the problem. There are a bunch of different dog allergens. There's a salivary allergen, there's an allergen from the skin, there's urinary prostate allergens, et cetera, et cetera. So there's lots of different ones that really don't have to do with the hair. The hair is a mess. People don't want to clean it up. And it can tote some allergen, along with it. But that's really not the root problem. So no, there are no non-allergenic breeds.
So what are we most likely allergic to when we are around pets and we have some kind of reaction? Is it the saliva?
Yeah, salivary is really common. Urinary is common. The skin allergens are really common.
Okay. And if you are licked by a pet, it can cause breakouts, right?
Sure. Yeah. If you've got that there's a protein called albumin that's found in the saliva, and that's a lot of what people are allergic to. And so if you get licked by a dog and it contains that allergen and you're allergic to it, you can get those local hives where the dog licked you.
We have someone that wrote in, hamsters are a good
alternative. Yes.
Hamsters are a good alternative to dogs and cats.
We see people who have had this, we got the hamster because we thought it'd be better, and it turns out the kids get really allergic to the hamsters. Likewise with guinea pigs and bunnies and all these alternative furred pets, can all still be, very allergenic. And so you never know. I mean, it could be safer, or you could develop an allergy to the hamster as well. I think lizards are safe, but they're not very friendly.
No, and they're not cuddly.
They're not snuggly and cuddly. So yeah, that's an alternative pet. Yeah.
If we wash our pets and their toys and bedding, does that help limit allergic reactions? Yes.
Washing the pets with regularity is one of the most effective ways to reduce pet dander in the home. If they're laying on their bedding, it's probably going to get gross, and you should probably wash it with some regularity anyway. But yeah, that'll remove some of the dander that's in those specific areas. But washing the animal, the sort of source of the allergen itself, is going to be one of the most effective, not the most effective way to reduce indoor pet dander.
Okay. If I come to see you in the clinic and we determine that I have a dog or a cat allergy, you're not going to tell me that I can't have one, but what would be the next step for me so that I don't have to give away my pet?
Most folks wind up going on allergy shots, allergen immunotherapy, to desensitize them to the animal. Because of the high load of indoor allergens, most of the time it sort of overwhelms the ability of medications to control the problem. And when people come to see us, that's why they're coming, because they've tried all this other stuff and it ain't working. Allergen immunotherapy can do a great job at desensitizing the body to the specific animal allergens and allowing you to coexist with the pets. This is almost my 30th year in practice, and I can't really recall anyone who ever got rid of the dog.
Right.
Almost everyone opts for that. I've kept count. 6 people have gotten rid of the cats over the years. So about one every 5 years or so. And almost all of them, they were inherited from a relative who moved or passed away or something like that. And they
Right.
just had to rehome the animal. But it works very, very well for these, especially new dog allergens. We call UF dog, ultra filtrated dog antigen that we're now using in our desensitization series is super effective. It's much better than the older preparation. Works really well.
Finally, pets can have allergies just like we can.
Yes, we're in Franklin, Tennessee today, and there is actually a veterinary allergist in Franklin, and she's probably busier than me. But they do it just like we do it. They actually skin test the dogs and they put them on shots or doggy drops or whatever they're doing. I don't know, I'm not a vet, but yes, animals have immune systems that are very similar to humans, and they can have allergies just like we do, including food allergies, environmental allergies, all that stuff.
And we spare no expense because we love them. So
of course not. Yes. I mean, buy pet insurance. That's my advice.
Exactly. Well, thanks so much, Dr. Overholt, for being with us today. Some good food for thought on pet allergies, and we appreciate you taking the time.
You bet, Liz. Thanks.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Let's Clear the Air. Please consider following this podcast, and remember, if you want helpful and accurate information about allergies and asthma, our allergy experts are here to clear the air.